Hi, in this video we're going to look at military time slips. Slips in history have occurred on the battlefield or around the battlefield. And then at the end of the video we're going to talk about how we could probably include a time slip in a one-off scenario. The concept of time slips, spontaneous and often inexplicable moments where individuals or groups report being transported to another time. And this has often fascinated historians, paranormal enthusiasts and skeptics alike. While time slips are often relegated to the realm of folklore and pseudoscience, there have been numerous accounts, particularly from military contexts, that are both intriguing and perplexing. And these stories challenge our understanding of time and history and provide a unique lens through which to explore the human experience. So what are time slips? Time slips refer to incidents where individuals claim to experience a sudden or temporary shift into a different historical period. Now, these experiences are often described vividly, with the individuals perceiving historical events, people, or environments as though they were physically present. Time slips are often distinct from hallucinations or dreams, as they often occur in a sort of waking state and are often described with remarkable detail and consistency. Military accounts of time slips have generally structured and highly documented nature of military life makes reports of time slips within this context particularly compelling. Some of the most intriguing accounts include some of the ones we're going to look at today. Now, the first is the Versailles incident in 1901. Now, this strictly isn't a military one. But the experience of these two British women, Charlotte Anne Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain, at the Palace of Versailles, has parallels with military time slips. During their visit, they claim to see figures and scenes from the French Revolution, which include Marie Antoinette. Now, the vividness of their experience has drawn comparisons to similar accounts from soldiers. So the first military one we're going to look at was at the Battle of Mons in 1914. During World War I, there were several British soldiers who were reportedly seeing ghostly apparitions of bowmen or angelic figures who aiding their retreat from German forces. Now, while often interpreted as a supernatural phenomena, some suggest these visions could be tied to a time slip experience, where the blending of the past and present in moments of extreme stress. So the second one we're going to look at is the time slip of RAF pilot Sir Victor Goddard in 1935. In a frequently cited case, Sir Victor Goddard was an RAF pilot who claimed to have flown over a disused airfield in Drem in Scotland, only to see it bustling with activity from the future. He described modern aircraft and personnel in uniforms that would only come into use years later. Now, this account raises questions whether time slips could also reveal glimpses of the future. Now, the next one we're going to look at is during the Vietnam War, and this patrol animal is well documented. There are anecdotal reports from soldiers in Vietnam describing encounters with figures or settings reminiscent of ancient or colonial periods. Now, these stories often surfaced in dense jungles where the atmosphere itself could evoke a sense of timelessness. Now, what are the theories behind time slips? Well, there's been quite a lot of explanations over the years for time slips, and they're wide varyingly, either encompassing scientific, psychological, and metaphysical perspectives. Is psychological stress. Soldiers in combat often face extreme mental stress, which could lead to alternate states of consciousness. And now these states might account for vivid perceptions of historical events or figures. Another one could be environmental factors. Certain locations, particularly battlefields, are thought to hold residual energy from past events. Now, some theorists propose that this energy could create conditions conducive to time slips. Now, the other one is quantum physics, with theories around the nature of time and space suggest that time might not be linear. Phenomena such as wormholes or temporal anomalies could, in theory, facilitate brief overlaps between past and present and future. Now, another theory is its collective memory, where it's shared cultural memories or archetypes which manifest in extreme situations, giving rise to detailed visions of historical events, cultural and historical significance. Military time slips offer a fascinating intersection of history, psychology and folklore. They tend to provide a way to explore the collective trauma of war, the human longing for connection with the past, and the mysteries of human perception. Now, whether one views these accounts as evidence of temporal anomalies, psychological phenomena, or vivid imagination, they remain a compelling part of our storytelling tradition. Now, while time slips remain a highly speculative and controversial topic, their enduring appeal lies in their ability to bridge the gap between history and mystery. Military accounts of time slips in particular remind us of the profound impact of war has on the human psyche, and the ways in which history continues to sort of resonate with us in unexpected ways. I mean, as we delve deeper into these sort of stories, we may uncover not only clues about the nature of time, but also insights into the enduring human fascination with the past. We never really touched on the types of different time slips that have occurred over the years. There's one of a story where it's in the UK, where people have seen Roman soldiers marching, but they only see them from the knee up, because later on archaeological digs have discovered there's a Roman road below where these Roman soldiers are seen. Now, whether that's a time slip or they're a supernatural ghost sighting, people aren't too sure. But there's just been lots of these sort of phenomena over the years, and people have seen them quite strange things and experienced quite strange things. And especially time slip, they've not happened just around military events. They just occur in other parts of the world in other times as well. There apparently have been lots of time slips in places like Liverpool, where people have gone back to sort of briefly to the 1950s or 60s. Now, whether these are true or not is up for debate, but I do think they're quite interesting, and the fact that you could possibly bring them into your war game in a sort of, you wanted to go really odd on a war game where your troops time slip either to the future or to the past, and suddenly having to engage with troops from either whichever way you've gone in your time slip. So you could be on the battlefield of World War I, and you suddenly time slip back to the period of the 100 Years' War, and suddenly your German or British troops are fighting with French or English knights. And it's just an idea to add a bit of fun into a war game, using these time slips to sort of create an odd one-off scenario. Anyway, that's all for this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video.